Thank you. You may be seated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to the 44th Annual General Meeting of our company. Please note that the non-executive director, Mr. Yomi Adewusi, Mr. Olayinka Lawal, Her Majesty Dr. Josephine A. Dietespith, and Joseph B. Daudu, SCN, are joining virtually. Other directors are here with us. Architect Olonda and Professor Akachi Izeigo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are holding this hybrid meeting with virtual participation by several individuals who are duly represented by their proxies at the meeting. Furthermore, we are being watched globally as this AGM is being streamed live. By the combined provisions of Section 251 and 254 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, members can attend an AGM in person or by proxy. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, proactively, together with other regulators, issued guidelines which would enable companies to hold general meetings in a restricted environment by proxies, subject to its approval. Consequent thereon, the CAC approved the 44th AGM be held by proxy with the following as pre-selected proxies: Mr. Obafunshogunke as chairman, Mr. Samuel Kolawole, managing director, Mrs. Folakemi Obademosi, executive director publishing, Mrs. Bisi Bakari, a shareholder, Dr. Anthony Omojola, a shareholder, Mr. Eric Akinduro, shareholder, Mr. Shegun Wulabi, shareholder, and Mr. Tunde Badmos. Article 55 of the company's Articles of Association provides that two members of the company present in person or by proxy shall be a quorum. Before the main business of today, may I now call upon the registrars to read the proxy report to the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members, and esteemed shareholders. We hereby confirm that 233 proxies and 12 shareholders representing 184,584,000 units have been recorded as had been present. Thank you.
Thank you. I now therefore declare that the proper quorum as required by the company's Articles of Association for this meeting has been formed, and the meeting is declared open. Under Article 60 of the company's Articles of Association, a poll may be demanded by A, the chairman, or B, by at least 3 members present in person or by proxy, or C, by any member or members present in person or by proxy and representing not less than 1/10 of the total voting rights of all the members having the right to vote at the meeting, or D, by a member or members holding shares in the company, conferring a right to vote at the meeting, being shares on which an aggregate sum has been paid up equal to not less than 1/10 of the total sum paid up on all the shares conferring the right, unquote. The pre-selected proxies would all have received an electronic voting device tagged to the number and value of proxies held by which you can exercise your votes by poll. The voting will be electronically and collated for real-time disclosure. I will now, as chairman, proxy and shareholder, make a demand that voting on all matters to be considered at this 44th AGM save the election of statutory audit committee members be by poll. I would like to request that those moving motions, those seconding motions put to the meeting, those making comments or asking questions should speak clearly into the microphone. Before speaking, kindly commence by stating your name. There will be opportunity for questions and comments. I wish to appeal to each speaker to be brief with their questions to give others a chance to ask questions. The names of the directors are contained in the published accounts which have earlier been circulated. Permit me therefore to introduce the directors and the company secretary present at this time. Let me start by introducing non-executive director, architect Ayo Olorunda, who is present with us. Professor Akachi. Also in attendance are representatives of the external auditors, PKF Professional Services Limited. You are most welcome. And the shareholders audit committee representatives. Thank you very much. Also seated are representatives of Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions. Thank you. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. They are online. Okay. The Nigerian Exchange Limited. Thank you for coming. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. And I call on the Secretary to read the notice convening the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. Notice of Annual General Meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 44th Annual General Meeting of University Press Plc will hold at the Conference Room, 3 Crowns Building, Jericho, PMB 5095, Ibadan, on Thursday, 29 September 2022, at 11 a.m. to transact the following business, which will be proposed as ordinary resolutions. Ordinary business. 1. To lay before the members the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022, together with the report of the directors, external auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2. To declare a dividend recommended by the board of directors of the company in respect of the financial year ended 31st March 2022. 3. To re-elect non-executive directors who, being eligible, offer themselves for re-election. A. Architect Ayodeji Olorunda. B. Mr. Yomi Adeusi. C. Mr. Olayinka Lawal. 4. To disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company in line with the provisions of Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. 5. To authorize the board of directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. 6. To elect shareholders representatives of the statutory audit committee. Special business. 7. To approve directors' remuneration. 8. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as ordinary resolutions. A, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to comply with the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021 as it relates to unissued shares of the company, including the cancellation of the 1,568,590,496 shares, 100 shares, unissued ordinary shares of the company, and B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to Resolution 8A above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. 9. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as special resolutions. A. That pursuant to Resolutions 8 above, the directors be and are hereby authorized to amend Clause 3 of the Memorandum of Association of the company to read: the share capital of the company is 215,704,752, divided into 431,409,504 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. B. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to Resolution 9A above, including without limitation appointing such professional parties, consultants and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. C. That all acts carried out by the board of the company hitherto in connection with the above be and are hereby ratified. 10. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as special resolutions. A. A printed copy of the annual reports and financial statements, including every document required by law to be annexed thereto, which is to be laid before the company at the general meeting, together with a copy of the auditor's report, shall not less than 21 days before the date of the meeting be sent to every member of and every holder of debentures of the company and every person registered under Article 32, and 2 copies of each of these documents shall be sent to the Secretary of the Stock Exchange. Provided that this article shall not require a copy of these documents to be sent to any person of whose address the company is not aware of, or to more than one of the joint holders of any share or debentures. B. The notice, annual reports and financial statements and or other reports, documents and information relating to any business to be transacted at every general meeting of the company may be distributed or circulated electronically to members and persons entitled to receive them and have provided the company with an electronic mail address. That the company's memorandum and articles of association be renumbered accordingly following the amendments proposed therein. C. That Article 49 be reworded to read as follows: the company shall in each calendar year hold a general meeting as its annual general meeting, in addition to any other meetings in that year, and shall specify the meeting as such in the notice calling it, and not more than 15 months shall elapse between the date of one annual general meeting of the company and that of the next. The annual general meeting shall be held at such place and time as the directors shall appoint. The company may hold a virtual hybrid combination of virtual and limited physical presence, or a proxy general meeting where it will be impossible to hold a normal general meeting due to government laws, policies, regulations, pandemics, or other related reasons. D. Article 54 should also be reworded to read as follows: All business transacted at annual general meetings are deemed special business, except declaring a dividend, presentation of the financial statements, and the reports of the directors and auditors, the election of the directors in the place of those retiring, the appointment, fixing of remuneration of the auditors, appointment of members of the audit committee, and disclosure of remuneration of managers of a company, which are ordinary business. Notes. 1. Proxy. Members of the company entitled to attend and vote are entitled to appoint proxies to attend and vote in their place. A proxy need not be a member of the company. A proxy form is enclosed in the annual reports and financial statements. To be valid for this meeting, the form must be duly completed and deposited at the office of the registrars, Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions Limited, not later than 48 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. The company has made arrangements at its cost for the stamping of the duly completed proxy forms submitted to the company's registrars within the stipulated time. Under the guidelines issued by the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, the company has obtained the approval of the CAC to hold the AGM, taking advantage of Section 254 of CAMA on the use of proxies with attendance by proxies. The proceedings of the meeting shall be streamed and the link shall be made available online on the company's website, www.universitypressplc.com. Members entitled to attend and vote at the AGM may select any of the underlisted as their proxies to attend and vote in their place. A. Mr. Obafunsho Ogunkeye, Chairman. B. Mr. Samuel Kolawole, Managing Director. C. Mrs. Folakemi Obademosi, Executive Director, Publishing. D. Mr. Eric Akinduro, Shareholder. E. Dr. Anthony Omojola, Shareholder. F. Mr. Shegun Owolabi, Shareholder. G. Mrs. Adebisi Bakari, Shareholder. H. Mr. Tunde Badmos, Shareholder. Each duly completed proxy form shall be counted as one, and every member present in person and or by proxy shall have one vote. A proxy remains valid provided that no formal notification of death, insanity, revocation, and transfer shall have been received by the company at the registered office or the office of the registrars before the commencement of the meeting or adjourned meeting at which the proxy is used. An objection to a proxy shall be made in due time and shall be referred to the chairman of the meeting, whose decision shall be final and conclusive. 2. Closure of register of members. The register of members and transfer books of the company will be closed from Thursday, 1st September 2022 to Tuesday, 6th September 2022 to enable the registrar update its records. 3. Dividend. If the dividend of 10 kobo per share recommended by the directors is approved by members at the annual general meeting, the dividend will be paid on Thursday, 29 September 2022 to shareholders whose names appear in the register of members at the close of business on 31st August 2022. 4. Unclaimed dividend. The company has confirmed that some shareholders are yet to mandate their banks to receive e-dividend payments, while some are yet to update their information. All shareholders with unclaimed dividends should direct their claims to Greenwich Registrars and Data Solutions Limited, 274 Muritala Mohammed Way, Yaba, Lagos, or to the company secretary at the registered office address. Detachable application forms for e-dividend is attached to the annual reports and financial statements for shareholders to update their bank accounts to the registrar. The list of unclaimed dividends can be accessed at the registrar's office or via the company's website, www.universitypressplc.com. 5. Nominations for the Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, any member may nominate a qualified shareholder for election to the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination, which should reach the Company Secretary at least 21 days before the date of the AGM. 6. Right to ask questions. It is the right of shareholders to ask questions not only at the annual general meeting but also in writing prior to the meeting. Such questions shall be addressed to the company secretary and submitted at the registered office of the company not later than 1 week before the annual general meeting. 7. Directors' profile. The profile of directors for re-election can be accessed on the company's website, www.universitypressplc.com. Dated this 23rd day of June 2022 by order of the board. O.A. Beniti Aboyadeko, Company Secretary, Legal Advisor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Company Secretary. The chairman's statement was circulated together with the published reports and financial statements. I will therefore appreciate it if it is taken as read. Thank you very much. The Managing Director's statement was also circulated together with the published report and financial statements. I will therefore appreciate it if it's taken as read. Most obliged. To avoid repetition, comments and observations on the Chairman's and Managing Director's statements will be taken after the presentation of the Director's reports, Auditor's report, and report of the Audit Committee. You will each have received your copy of the 2021-2022 financial statements of the company, together with the report of the directors. I will also appreciate it if the report of the directors is taken as read. We are most obliged. Item number 1 on the agenda is to lay and adopt the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022, along with the reports of the directors, audit committee, and auditors thereon. The financial statements and the notes thereon are contained on pages 51 to 85 of our annual reports. 1. Directors' reports. The directors' reports are on pages 34 to 44 of the annual reports. Subject to your consent, I suggest that we take the reports as read. Our auditors, PKF Professional Services Limited, are represented here. The auditors will now read their reports to you.
Good morning, sir, Mr. Chairman, esteemed board members, and honorable shareholders. My name is Banji Olaokun from PKF Professional Services, and with my colleague, Suleiman Rashid. The auditor's report is contained in our account on pages 46 to 48. I, however, crave the indulgence of these to read their breach report of our breach report on this account. Thank you very much. Independent auditors report to the shareholders of University Press Plc. Report on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the company financial statement of University Press Plc, the company, which comprise the statement of financial position at 31st of March 2022, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the company financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of the company as at the 1st of March 2022, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standard (IFRS) and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011. Our basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standard on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, IESBA code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. I will move to page 50, which is report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirements of the 5th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we confirm that, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company so far as appears from our examination of those books, and the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. 1. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. The company have kept proper books of accounts so far as it appears from examination of those books. 3. The statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. Signed by Mr. Benson Adejaye, FCA, 23rd of June, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now call on the chairman of the audit committee, Mr. Temitope K. Oduniyi, to present the report of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'm standing on the existing protocol. I hereby present the report of the Audit Committee. In accordance with the provisions of Section 1404, Subsection 17 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we members of the Audit Committee of University Press Plc, having carried out our statutory functions under the Act, hereby report that A, the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with the legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. B, the scope and planning of both the external and internal audit programs for the year ended 31st March 2022 were adequate and reinforce the company's internal control system. C, having reviewed the external auditor's findings and recommendations on management matters, we are satisfied with the management responses thereon. Finally, we acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of this duty. Signed, Mr. Temitope Oduniyi, 22nd June 2022. Other members of the committee are Mr. Oluwole K. Ibiemi, Mr. Ayuba O. Quadri, Mr. Olayinka Lawal, Her Royal Majesty Josephine Diete Spiff. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. As copies have been circulated to you under the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Company's Articles of Association, I hereby move that the financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2021-2022, along with the report of the Directors, Audit Committee, and the auditors thereon be submitted to be received and adopted. My colleagues and I will be pleased to answer questions and listen to comments which you may have on the report and financial statements before we proceed to the next item on the agenda. In doing so, it will help to ensure that we give the right answers if you could refer to the page of the report and accounts to which your questions or comments relate. Shareholders who have questions and comments should walk to the microphone and speak. Please, keep your questions short and concise. And because of the volume of business we need to transact, we will limit comments to 2 minutes. Concise and short. No repetition. Okay. So we start from you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Good morning, Board of Directors, regulatory authorities, shareholders. Mr. Chairman, I want to appeal to you. My name's Segun Wolabi, as it has been mentioned before. No repetition. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to be very brief, and I'm going to be very factual as well. Mr. Chairman, I want to appeal to you passionately about this meeting. When we started COVID meetings was as a result of COVID pandemic. And that COVID has been, the provisions that have heralded such meetings have been relaxed. We are here, only few of us are here. And I want to say that a lot of shareholders, even though they join us by Zoom, they are disenfranchised. I want to appeal to you that by next year, God willing, I want you, Mr. Chairman, to use your discretion to open up this meeting for other shareholders to join us. Please. Mr. Chairman, on that note, let me continue by commending the quality of this board. There is no doubt about that. This board quality and credibility is very, very solid. And I'm happy that the legacy our late Babare left is being built on. That is very, very commendable, Mr. Chairman. And I also want to say, Lord, Mr. Chairman, that the online purchase of books by this company is highly commendable. We are moving to 21st generation, technology advancement. This is very, very commendable. I will not delve into the intricacies of the financial report for the sake of time. I'm going to abide with the rules. But Mr. Chairman, let me quickly touch on page 79 on royalty payables. I want to believe that there are authors that are laboring day and night, that are adding value to this company. And so therefore, royalty payables should not be delayed. I want you to, as much as possible, reduce this figure to the barest minimum, 288,544. Please do something about that so that they will continue to add value to us. Mr. Chairman, I also want to touch on the issue of unclaimed dividends. You have tried to reduce the figure, but I want you to do more by reducing the figure to the barest minimum. And Mr. Chairman, lastly, because I've promised to be very concise and brief, lastly on page 81, I saw short-term deposits. Short-term deposits, is the short-term deposit attracting interest? Because we have put so much money into that bank, into the bank. I want you to explain to us if that deposit will be attracting interest. And on this note, I want to close my address. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. God bless all.
Thank you very much. And thank you for keeping to the 2 minutes. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tunde Badmus. I thank you for the privilege. And I will not say because the time is short and fail to appreciate the board. Just like the earlier speaker said, we have one of the most qualified and eminent people on board. The first novel I read, the author has always been consistent. Yeah. I remember Eze Goes to School. I'm starting with Madam Prof. Thank you for the job. And I pray that you live long enough for the coming generations to appreciate you. Dr. Adebayo, congratulations for the feat. And I'm risking my time, but I must congratulate a brother. And it's adding value to us, the company, and our perception. Mr. MD is an erudite, all-round academic on his own right, and I congratulate you for the good job you are doing as well, not only at the company level. I follow you, and you are aware that I follow you all around, even though it may not be physical. There's hardly no week that you didn't accomplish something and you benefit the community and the country at the level where you operate. And it's not only me that appreciates you, numerous others too. Thank you for the project you are handling at Rotary level, if I'm permitted to mention.
If you are to go by your time, is up.
No.
But
2 minutes.
2 minutes is up.
Okay. For greeting and appreciation. Okay,
no
let
greeting.
Me quickly round up. No greeting again. But
no
let me appreciate our ever younger chairman too, if you'll be annoyed with that. And you promise us that you will give us, you will cut part of the soap for us, or the anointing, so that we can still look young as you are at your age. I don't want to disclose your age, but I've investigated. 5 minutes going. Thank you for giving me 5 minutes. The result is as beautiful. Okay, which time? The result we are looking at, they said it's historical. That's why I'm taking the pleasure in not dwelling into the past. Knowing fully well that it's a well-run company, and we cannot query the performance. What we ask for is an enhanced dividend. Knowing fully well that it's the tradition of this company that annually they don't fail. And you won't start failing. You will rather be improving. You are doing well, you can move to better and best. As I don't want to waste further time, don't forget the CSR. And I've been consistent in mentioning this. And I noticed that since, despite being a native, I've relocated, and I was wondering why we cannot catch Lagos market and let our works be more part of the recommended text at both the basic levels, secondary, the tertiary. You know how to handle that. So kindly look into it. I know you are working on it, but if you can tell us how far you've gone, so that I'll be able to take it up from there at my local level as the PTA chairman of a small school, where I often advertise our books. Let us know where we can also put mouth and shout louder. You can't be everywhere. I thank you for the performance, and I thank Mrs. Aboyade Cole. The result is as beautiful as Mrs. Aboyade. Let next year be better. I will stop here to save time.
Thank you. Yes, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, regulators here present, my co-shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari, shareholder. Mr. Chairman, before I start my comments, permit me to commend the Office of the Company Secretary and our able, reliable registrar for sending this annual report over 1 month. This is very good and is highly commendable. Please, let's give them a round of applause, please. Having said that, I will go straight to page 3 of the annual report and accounts. I want to especially commend and congratulate the board and management for the awards we received during the year under review, especially the Academic Companion of Honor Award 2022 in recognition of our company's contribution to the development of education in Nigeria. This is very good, and I want our company to keep it up. Page 9, where we have results at a glance. Looking at this page, Mr. Chairman, this is an impressive result. The board and management has done very well. Our revenue grew by 62% from 1.419 billion to 2.305 billion. The same thing with our PBT and PAT. The PBT grew by 263% despite the difficult situation we are in this country. I really commend this board and management for this excellent result. Again, why our PPT and PAT grew, our dividend declined by 67%. Our earnings per share also moved from 13.24 kobo to 48.10 kobo. This is an excellent result. As I said earlier, we should keep it up, though there is still room for improvement. Page 11 to 16. I want to give kudos to the entire board for this board attendance and board committee attendance. This is very good. I scored you 100%. This is highly commendable also. Page 25. Page 25. Board appointments. That is under chairman's statements. I congratulate the two independent non-executive directors, Mr. Joseph Daudu San and Her Royal Majesty Josephine Spiff, Mrs. I pray that their coming on board will add value to our company. But Mr. Chairman, again, I noticed that the two independent directors are lawyers. Our chairman is also a legal practitioner, and our MD is also a lawyer by profession, as mine. I didn't want to mention company secretary. So I wonder whether our company is having some cases that we need lawyer to defend us. That is our board. That's why our board is full of lawyers. So it's just a joke anyway. Page 32. Sorry, this thing is very... Oh, yes, page 32. Board of Directors picture. Mr. Chairman, or maybe I will ask company secretary. I don't know the offense of Mr. Chairman, the MD, and Dr. Adebayo. No female board in between them. Why? When you gave the two directors at the middle, two female, and none for chairman, though chairman smile, but look at Mr. MD and Mr. Adebayo. Dr. Adebayo, they frown their face. Next time, company secretary, please look at the arrangement very well next time. Page 37. Page 37. That's on our donations, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, looking at our donations, we've not done well, sir. I think we need to give back to the society. All these people you are giving, they don't really need our money. They have money. Look for less privileged people. Look for motherless babies home and so on. We are in critical condition in this country. We should give our money to those that really need it. Even these people you gave our money to can even give us money. So I want the board to look at our donations policy. Page 39. Customers Award. Page 39, Customers Award. I think, Mr. Chairman, we need to encourage our customers from Abuja, because looking at our Abuja, their sales in 2020 was 1.94 million. This has moved to 11.7 million. That is a huge difference. So if we can encourage more, I think they can do better. The same thing in Lagos. I don't know why our sales in Lagos is just 10.28 million, though it has improved. But I think our marketing department need to do a lot in Lagos State, because there is business in Lagos. Page 47. Okay, page 77.
Please round up, ma'am.
I'm about to, sir.
Thank you very much.
You know, like Mr. Ashegun Owolabi said, we have thousands of shareholders, and they are watching us. They too, they receive this annual report. They are expecting us to ask questions they cannot ask. It's our member that send us. That's why I'm against of what he said, because CAC gave you, I didn't want to say because I have only a few minutes. It was CAC that gave you approval. Without CAC approval, you cannot hold a proxy meeting. So it's our member that gave us all these things. So, and we have to give our reports, because we are representing our association, we are not representing ourselves. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Page 47. Okay, page 47, yes. That is, anyway, that is on external auditors, key audit matters. I want the board to look at it, especially the impairment allowance of 12.6 million. I want the board to look at it. Page 77. Sorry. And also, we received this annual report in good time, over 1 million. So anytime I wake up, I look at it. Later, I close it. So you can see that that is why I'm able to go through it very well. On page 77, Mr. Chairman, I noticed that we have a landed property amounting to 6.367 million that was purchased by our company. But the title documents are yet to be perfected. I don't know how long we want to wait to perfect this property. I don't know why it's taking us, because it has been in our report almost every year. I want the board to do something about it. Page 85. Page 85, that's why we are here. Page 85, our 5-year summary. In fact, despite that University Press is very small, it's one of the company one can really invest, and at the end of the year you will get something. We appreciate it. But I believe that as our revenue is growing, our PHC, PVT and so on, and our earnings per share, our dividend also should be should be increasing, because I can't imagine. And looking at this page also, for the past four years, this is the best of in terms of revenue, PPT and PAT. So I don't know why our dividend you are giving us 10 kobo. It's too small, Mr. Chairman. And I want the board to look at their dividend policy as well. Our earnings per share is 48.10 kobo. Why are you giving us 10 kobo? Even in 2017 or 2018, that our earnings is not even up to this. You gave us 15 kobo. You know what inflation has caused in this country. We need money. Of course, you will tell me you pay 5 kobo last year. That's why you are paying 10 kobo this year. Your 5 kobo, even your 10 kobo this year is not up to 5 kobo you paid last year. Please, I want the board to look at our dividend policy. Page 88. Sorry, 89. Of course, we have been paying dividend for the past 32 years without missing any year. We appreciate that also. Then lastly, Mr. Chairman, so that we give others two opportunity to speak. Page 87, share capital history. Mr. Chairman, looking at this annual report, I noticed that the last time we paid bonus was in 2010. I think the time has come to give shareholders bonus. Please, we need bonus. Yes, they have good reserve. I've seen it. We need the bonus, no matter how small. Even if it is 1 for 10, we appreciate it. Once again, thank you for opportunity given to me. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bakari. Mr. Eric.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, other directors, the shareholders here present, and those watching online, and the regulators and the audit committee members. Good morning. My name is Eric Akinduro from Ibadan Zone Shareholders Association. Mr. Chairman, it's very unusual of you and even of this board, if at all, if there should be any reason for us to be in a hurry, it should not be during our AGM, because it is the shareholders that should even set a time for you that we want to end this AGM on so date. You've invited us to come here. So for you now to be giving us 2 minutes, 1 minute, I think it's not too ideal for us as shareholders. We are meeting once in a year. So you should allow us to express what we have for you and for the betterment of the company. So please, we appreciate that. And Mr. Chairman, I got this annual report and I'm very happy because I realized that this company is a listening board. Every year we continue to request for the report of the Chief Executive Officer of this company. And I'm happy this year that we have this report published for the first time on pages 26 and 27. So this one shows to us that no matter what we are saying here, you are not just saying it for saying sake. You are listening to us and you are taking action. And that is why the issue of timing us may not help you and may not help us. Because when you time us, we will not be able to say whatever you want to say. So we appreciate you for that, Mr. Chairman. Also, I tried to check our website. I tried to check our website before the AGM, and I realized that we have a very detailed information on our website, particularly the report of the last year AGM. I read it in our website, being presented by one Janice Johnson Permida. It was very detailed, and I really appreciate that good work that that person has done on our website. So the person should keep it up, and the company should also encourage online publication of some of these news. But one thing I didn't see there is that I couldn't find the pictures of our AGMs on our website. So please, it's going to be good for us if we can inculcate some pictorial pages of our events into our website, so that people going through it will see 1 or 2 things there. And also, Mr. Chairman, on page 6, where we have our special business number 10, special business number 10, the statement there that a printed copy of annual report and financial statement, I don't know, maybe we can add it up, both a printed and soft copy, so that we don't hit ourselves on the leg. When we said a printed copy will be circulated to all shareholders, we are getting towards digital age. So we should try to amend to have both printed and soft copy to shareholders, so that those that are not on ground could always access the soft copy of our annual report as we move on. And also, Mr. Chairman, quickly, because I don't want to take it for granted, let me go to page 35. Page 35. That is directors and their Olayinka Lawal around March 2021, bought some units of this company's shares. And when you see a director buying shares of a company, this is one of the signals to us as investors that that company is very valuable. So I really commend the director for buying so much shares. But for others that are not having our shares, particularly the Her Royal Majesty Josephine and some others, who appreciate it if they can have some units of these shares, so that at least where they are, we know that they belong to that place. And also on page 36, our major shareholdings. Our major shareholdings, that is Oxford University Press. Last time we mentioned it and we discussed about their dividend and some other things, and it was reported that some of their dividend is being plowed back to buy more shares. But I didn't see any difference in their shareholding in the year under review. So I don't know, maybe they've collected their dividend for the past year, or they are reserving it to add it up to this or that of this year to buy more shares for their company. And also, Mr. Chairman, page 52. I will join it with page 79, number 25. That is on unclaimed dividend. Page 52 and page 79, number 25. I'm not too comfortable to have 7.2 million additional dividend for the year 2021. That's too huge for us as a company. I'm not too comfortable. Why year 2020 we recorded nil unclaimed dividend? And not only that, when you look at almost 14 million was written back to the other income, leaving total unclaimed dividend of 144 million. I think it is the best time for us to create an enabling environment for our shareholders to always get this dividend. And not only that, I'm using it as a clearing call to the regulators. The regulators should stand on their right now to ensure that they have interest in giving out dividend out to shareholders than reserving or keeping this dividend. Recently, some of these dividends have been transferred to Securities and Exchange Commission, and to get this dividend from them, unlike when they are with the registrars, is a lot of bottleneck. So we are using this opportunity to call on the regulators to have interest in giving out dividend to shareholders than keeping dividend with them. Is very, very important, because that's the essence of our investment. And also, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend you on page 72, where we have our finance income of 32.3 million from 15 million last year. And also, on foreign exchange loss, I want us to focus more on our local investments. We have foreign exchange loss of 50 million from 18 million that we recorded last year. And likewise, as the earlier speaker mentioned about our property, I also want to commend you on pages 76 and 77, where we have a revaluation surplus of 256 million on our property. This is a very good vision for the leaders of this company. At least that's a very good investment for us. So please keep it up, and we continue to back it up. Finally, the last speaker mentioned the issue of dividend, and we are canceling some shares today. It would have been better for us to consider bonus. To consider bonus for shareholders since 2010. This has been a long time that we have received bonus last. And 10 kobo dividend is not much when you have earnings of 48.10 kobo. So the policy of this company about dividend is very good, consistent one. But we should always consider the value of what we are giving out. When we recorded earning per shares of 48.10 kobo, there's nothing bad giving us like 20 kobo from earning per shares. I know you'll be thinking of how you want to pay for that next year. We will pay. So far you are still there and God is on the throne, the business will continue to come, and definitely we will continue to see good dividend to pay. So on this note, we want to appreciate the good work you are doing, the MD, the CFO, and everyone. We appreciate you, and we are looking forward to have a better, robust returns next year when we are meeting, probably at a larger AGM, not a sitting room AGM that we observe today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akinduru. I will ask the Managing Director to respond to some of the questions and observations raised.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished board members and shareholders and regulatory authorities here represented, both those who are here and those who are with us online. I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the privilege to respond. It's obvious that the shareholders have been wanting to read from me. They have read from me this year, and I think they also want to hear my voice. So the chairman is preempting that, so they will hear my voice also today. A number of issues have been raised, and let me appreciate our shareholders the way we have always done. You have recognized the fact that you have a listening board headed by the chairman. When issues are raised, the board listens and tries to respond. So for most of the commendations that were made and recommendations, we'll just say that they are noted, and we'll work on them to see that we improve and we do better than we have been doing. But there are specific issues that are raised, that were raised, that will require that we give responses to. In-person meetings, to move away from proxy. Well, we hope that by next year things will be clearer. You know that we have to plan well ahead. By the time we were planning this meeting, nobody knew what the situation would be in September. And so we played it safe to hold it this way this year. Let's hope that we won't have further waves of the pandemic coming up to disrupt the system in the future, so that so that we can hold in-person AGM like we have been doing in the past. Royalty payments should not be delayed. We don't delay royalty payments. There will be circumstances when there are authors that are probably late, you can't reach. There are those that are late and their dependents, their estates are writing to us to start receiving such some of them that are late, their estates will write to us. We have to verify, and we hold on to the royalty until we verify that they are the legal representatives or those that are entitled to the royalty before we make payment. Also, royalty payment, we have a time in the course of the year when we pay, just like dividend. We usually pay royalties after the AGM. I'm sure you want to receive dividend at the appropriate time. We have everything structured out. So there is none that we hold for more than 1 year. Even our authors will confirm to you that we are one of the very few companies that pay royalties on time. It is noted. Of course, we'll continue to maintain that. On unclaimed dividend, a number of speakers raised the issue. We continue to try the best that we can to ensure that those who are entitled to dividend collect their dividend. We don't. You also attest to what the registrar is doing to ensure that people are paid their dividends. We don't have any policy, or we don't work on retaining the dividends and not paying them out. We also encourage shareholders associations to sensitize their members so that you can continue to reach out to us anytime that dividend is not received. Please, we encourage you to do that. We do all the best that we can, but we'll continue to try to do better to ensure that we reduce the level of unclaimed dividend. One of the speakers addressed regulatory authorities. They are here. I'm sure they will take note of that. That is beyond us. Short-term deposit, I don't have to say much about that. They did attract interest, of course, yes. We won't keep money somewhere where we won't get interest, and you can see it in terms of the income that we get. Performance in Lagos, we can assure you that it's improving, and we'll continue to do the best that we can to ensure that we do better, not only in Lagos, but in other parts of the country as well, because it's only when we improve in those areas that our performance generally can be better. You want to know how you can help. You are in touch with the management of the company, with the company secretary. If you talk to us, wherever we feel that you can be of assistance to us, we'll let you know. We seek the support of shareholders in this respect, wherever you can be of help to us. No, it's in the interest of your company to support the company. When we do very well, you have more dividend. Thank you. Well, it was just a passing comment on so many lawyers. Lawyers are all around the place. But incidentally, these people that have been mentioned also have other things they do. For example, Her Royal Majesty Josephine Spiff is also a school proprietor. She's involved in education and in school proprietors associations and all that. They have other things that they do, but you know that even some people after retirement still go to read law. There is something about that law that attracts everybody. I don't understand why. So that is just that in passing. Donations for less privileged, of course we continue to do that. Some of the speakers, Mrs. Bakari specifically said we should look for less privileged. When you see donation to Rotary Club, it is to the less privileged. It is not money given to that organization. A good portion of it is books that are donated to libraries of some public schools. So we partner with them, renovation of school libraries and all that in public school. Even digging of boreholes. One was done in Batake village in Oyo State, in Ibadan, one local area. Renovation of St. Bridget's Secondary School at Mokola, a block of classroom, library and all. So we partner with a reputable organization to be able to get this done. Not that we give money to that organization and just walk away. So we need to give that explanation. It's a partnership. Yeah. Customers awards, yes, we'll continue to improve the number of agents and customers who are doing good business with us. What we have listed there, that's not the performance for those particular areas. They are the performance of specific customers that we have given awards to for being the highest in those areas. So that is what that represents. Dividends to be growing, of course, we have listened to that request. Okay. Most of the other things here are commendations. You talked about, okay, there is a specific reference to Oxford University Press, their dividend, whether they be used. Of course, shares will be purchased, but I believe that those who are working in their interest to purchase will also look at the appropriate time to do the purchases, but the position has not changed at all. So you may see movement later. Property, I think that about takes care of it all, except for the recommendations that were made, which I promise on behalf of the chairman and the board, and of course he's still going to respond to you, that as a listening board, we are going to be responding, considering those issues you have raised, looking at those recommendations, and looking at what is appropriate at any point in time to do in the interest of all stakeholders. You talked about the issue of dividend. We know it can be more, but we are operating under a very challenging environment. We need money to do the business. That is why we cannot give everything out as dividend now. Next year, we don't have money to do the. In fact, at this time, we should be plowing back whatever we are making because of the challenges. But we hope that the company will continue to improve in its performance so that the returns to stakeholders will be much better. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I will just quickly draw attention to certain comments by Mr. Akinduru talking about circulation of our annual report electronically. If you go to page 7 of our report, 10B, it's embedded in one of the resolutions we are to pass that we want to amend that aspect of articles of association so that notice, annual reports, financial statements, and other reports, documents, and information relating to any business to be transacted at every general meeting of the company may be distributed or circulated electronically to members. I hope that clarifies that aspect. So it is the changes we have now which has brought in virtual and electronic meeting, and that calls for the amendment of that provision. And if you go to page 8, article, it is 7 on page 8, right to ask questions. It is the right of shareholders to ask questions not only at the annual general meeting, but also in writing prior to the meeting. Such questions should be addressed to the company secretary and submitted at the registered office of the company not later than 1 week before the annual general meeting. So we are not trying to constrain your right to ask questions. We don't want it limited to asking questions on the floor of the meeting. Please, we will encourage you, write, and we know that you are all after the best interest of the company. Your comments, your observations, issues can be directed to us. And all this will be taken. And so you don't have to cram everything your proxies have sent you. Because if you are to stand on everything you've been asked to present to the meeting, it will take each person about 15 minutes. But if we can embrace this right to ask questions, it will be most appreciated. And I think following in line with what the MD has said, we have had all your comments, positive comments, and we will surely respond to those ones that have been, apart from the congratulations you've given to your board. So I want to thank you for all the questions that have been raised, and we will make sure that we drive towards providing better results next year. The appropriate explanation has also been given to the dividend that has been declared. The uncertainty in Nigeria's situation, in the economy, will not allow us to use all our 10 fingers to, well, you said it, I didn't say it. I hope it's understood. Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for your wisdom. Thank you. So, after exhausting all that, there have been no further comments, and the audited reports and consolidated financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2022 haven't been laid, and members haven't made their comments, We will now move to the next item on the agenda. Item 2, declaration of dividend of 10 kobo per share. I hereby move that a dividend of 10 kobo per share be and is hereby approved for payment to shareholders whose names appear on the register of the shareholders at the close of business on Tuesday, 31st August 2022, in respect of the year ended 31st March 2022. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion? And second. May I now call on members to vote on the resolution by poll? I will hand over to the registrars to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have on display the electronic voting instruction. An electronic voting device has been issued to shareholders eligible to vote and pre-selected proxies. Each device has been activated and is ready for use. A resolution will be announced and voting for the resolution will commence after the announcement. On the voting pad, 1 represents yes, 2 represents no, 3 represents abstain. Please press 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for abstain. Voting for a resolution commences and ends in 30 seconds. A voting result will be displayed immediately each voting session ends. Unit holding indicating on the result slide is a shareholding percentage and unit holding. Please do not touch any other button on the voting pad other than 1, 2, or 3. So we'll have the resolution on. So we have the resolution to declare a dividend, and the timer will come up now. The timer is on. Please vote. Voting has ended. We have 100% in favor of the resolution, and this translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, registrars. I declare the motion carried unanimously. There have been no dissenting votes. Thank you. Item number 3. To re-elect non-executive directors. Under Section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, Architect Ayodeji Oloruda may serve non-executive director. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion? The resolution by poll. I will hand over to the registrars to conduct the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next resolution. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution to re-elect Ag Ayodeji Olorunda as a director. This translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Yomi Adewusi be re-elected as the non-executive director. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion?
So we have a slide up. The timer is on. Please vote. The voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution to re-elect Mr. Yomi Adewusi as a director. This translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. I hereby move a motion that Mr. Olayinka Lawal be re-elected as a non-executive director. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion? From members to vote on the resolution by poll. I hand over to the registrars.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Item number 4, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. Item number 4 on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of the agendas of the company under Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The compensation of managers of the company shall be disclosed to members of the company at the annual general meeting.
Mr. Chairman, observation. Mr. Chairman, I'm one of the learners. For the purpose of clarity, you said this item of the agenda is to disclose the remunerations of the managers. The term managers, because I have lawyers here who are learned. I'm an accountant, I'm not learned. Please, can you explain to us what that term manager means?
It's a new provision. It's for managers. It doesn't include directors. Yes. Yes. It's just the managers, yes. Not the directors.
Accountants wants to know everything. Rest assured, we won't draw you into the trenches. Thank you. Therefore, managers' compensation for the year ended 31st March 2022 is hereby disclosed as 37,911,164 naira 72 kobo only. The information is listed on page 73 of the annual reports and financial statements, April 2021 to March 2022. So that is for records. All right. Noted. Thank you. Item number 5 on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires that the remuneration of the auditors shall be, quote, fixed by the company at the annual general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion? Mr. Pedro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to second that motion. So far, the remuneration is still okay and it's not going to be increased from this what we have here. Thank you. Eric Akinduro is the name.
May I now call on members to vote on the resolution by poll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. This also translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. There being no dissenting vote, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Item number 6 on the agenda is the election of the 3 shareholder members of the Audit Committee. Our Audit Committee consists of 3 representatives of the shareholders and 2 directors representing the board. The Board of Directors have elected their representatives, and they are Mr. Olayinka Lawal, Her Majesty Dr. Josephine A. Dietes-Piff. You are to elect 3 representatives of the shareholders into the Audit Committee under Sections 404, Sub 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, Laws of the Federation 2020. The 3 nominees with the highest votes will be declared duly elected to the Audit Committee. The following names of nominees were received from shareholders. 1. Mr. T.K. Uduniyi. 2. Mr. Ibiemi S.O. Kolawole. 3. Mr. Ayuba Quadri Yemi. 4. Mrs. Yola Oluwatoyin Olufunke. 5. Mr. Olowoniyi Ade David. 6. Mr. Peter Joseph Bolaji. And 7. Mr. Olowolafe Kende Boboye. Those are they? Okay. Okay. 3 out of the 7 are here. Others are probably online. So we start with Mr. Oduni. All right. The others can sit, and that's Mr. Oduni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we'll count.
Will those in support of Mr. Oduni please signify by raising their hands?
Seven. Yeah, you can continue, Chairman. Okay. So 9 plus 2.
Shareholders.
Yes, we're counting. Yes, ma'am.
Next, Ibiyemi S.O. Kolawole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ayuba Quadri, Yemi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well done.
Mrs. Iyola Oluwatoyin Olufunke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well done.
Mr. Olowoniyi Ade David.
Well done, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Peter Joseph Bolaji.
Well done, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Olowolafe Kende Boboye.
Well done, Mr. Chairman.
The score for each candidate is as follows. Mr. Temitope Kamoru Oduniyi, 10 votes. Mr. Ibiyemi Samuel Kolawole, 10 votes. Mr. Ayuba Quadri Yemi, 10 votes. Mrs. Iyola Oluwatoyin Olufunke, nil. Mr. Olowoniyi Ade David, nil. Mr. Peter Joseph Bolaji, nil. Mr. Olowolafe Kende Boboye, nil. The three candidates with the highest scores are Mr. Temitope Kamoru Oduniyi, Mr. Ibiyemi Samuel Kolawole, and Mr. Ayuba Quadri Yemi. I hereby declare them duly elected to serve on the Audit Committee for 2022-2023, along with the following non-executive directors: Mr. Olayinka Lawal, Her Majesty Dr. Josephine A. Dietespif. Thank you. Item number 7 on the agenda is to approve directors' remuneration for 2021-2022. I hereby move that the directors' remuneration for 2021-2022 contained in the accounts at page 68 be approved. Will the shareholder please rise and second this motion?
My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I second the motion.
May I now call on members to vote on the resolution by poll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution to approve the remuneration of the directors. This translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Item number 8. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as ordinary resolutions. A, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps necessary to comply with the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Companies Regulations 2021 as it relates to unissued shares of the company, including the cancellation of the 1,568,590,496 unissued ordinary shares of the company. And B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute agreements, deeds, notices, or any other documents, and to perform all acts and to do all such other things necessary for or incidental to giving effect to Resolution 8A above, including without limitation, appointing such professional parties, consultants, and advisors, and complying with the directives of the regulatory authorities. Will a shareholder second by raising his or her right hand? You need the microphone.
And I would like to, since we are moving a single resolution for the co-joined, so I rise to second the motion as moved by the chairman. Thank you, sir. My name is Tunde Badmos.
Thank you, sir.
The timer will come up now. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% recorded in favor of the resolution, which translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, the Registrar. There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Item number 9. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, sorry. I think to save our time, there's no need of reading this. It was read by the company secretary, so that we can just pass the resolution. Number 9, as it was read by the company secretary.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You know I'm not an accountant.
The timer will come up now. Please vote.
There is no. You have seconded.
Yes.
Oh, there is no seconder yet. Okay. 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 Thank you.
Begin to roll it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so the timer is on now. We're starting it, please. You may vote, please. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. We go to item 9, taken as read. Will a shareholder...
Item 10.
Because I didn't read it. Item number 10. Will a shareholder second by raising right?
In time now. I, Shegun Olabi, a shareholder of the company, second that motion.
Thank you. So I call on members to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is up. Please vote. Voting has ended, and we have 100% in favor of the resolution, which translates to 183,635,000 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. There being no dissenting votes, I declare the motion carried unanimously. This brings us to the conclusion of the AGM. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of this year's annual general meeting. On behalf of the board, I thank you for attending the meeting and showing so much interest in your company's affairs. I now declare the meeting closed with the national anthem. Thank you and congratulations.